How the speech organs work in English. We'll begin with the speech organs, the articulators. Articulators transform the sound into intelligible speech. They can be either active or passive. They include the pharynx, the teeth, the alveoli behind them, the hard palate, the softer velum behind it, the lips, the tongue, and the nose, its cavity. Traditionally, the articulators are studied with the help of a sliced human head figure like the following. Here we see the nasal cavity, sometimes called the nasal tract, in the opposite of the vocal tract, which has the alveolate, the hard palate, the soft palate, sometimes called velum, and uvula, pharynx, epiglottis, upper teeth, lower teeth, and jaw, and we have tip, clay, front, and the back of the tongue. In all languages, we speak with the air from the lungs. We draw it into the lungs quickly and we release it like this. And then interfere with this passage various ways and in various places. In this diagram, we see a slide view of the parts of the throat and mouth and nose, which are important to recognize for English. Thus, it's very clear that the main function of the vocal cords is to convert the air which comes from the lungs into audible sounds. The opening and the closing process of the vocal cords manipulate the airflow, control the pitch and the tone of the speech sounds. As a result, we have different qualities of the sound. Vocal cords. Air released by the lungs comes up through the windpipe and arrives first at the larynx. Here are the larynx. The larynx contains two small bands of elastic tissue, the vocal cords, which can be thought of as two flat strips of rubber lying opposite each other across the air passage, which are the vocal cords we have said, as we have said before. Here is the larynx that has the vocal cords, and the air comes from the lungs, then goes here. In the larynx, we have the vocal cord, has four faces, which are a wide part, neuroglottis, touched or nearly touched, and tightly closed. In the first phase, the folds are apart. They are away of each other. They don't vibrate because they are not touching each other. So there is no vibration of the air comes from the lungs. The sounds produced in such positions called breathed or voiceless sounds because it has no voice. You see, the folds are away of each other. There is no vibration for the air that comes here. Like the sound pe, fe, the, se. When we hold our throat, Adam's apples, and we touch them, we say pe, fe, the, se. We can we can see that there is no vibration. There is no voice. It's voiceless. The second phase is the neuroglottis. If the air goes here, when it is narrowed, then there is then there is an audible friction. Such sounds are also voiceless, since the vocal folds don't vibrate. For example, the English sounds head is voiceless glottal frictive sound. The third situation is when the vocal folds are touched or nearly touched. As we know that the main or the major role of the vocal folds is that of a vibrator in the production of the speech. The folds vibrate, when these two are touching each other or nearly touching. The pressure of the air coming from the lungs makes them vibrate. The vibration of the folds produce a musical note called voice. And sounds produced in such manner are called voice sounds. So when these folds are touching each other, they cause voice. That's why the sounds that are produced in this manner called voice sounds. And as we know that all vowel sounds are voiced, and some consonants are also voiced, like ve, ze, me, ne, are voiced too. The last and fourth phase is tightly closed. The vocal folds can be firmly pressed together so that the air can't pass between them. Suction produces a glottal stop, also known as a glottal catch. And here's the end of part 2.